the carelessness of Tariq. Tariq was very careless when it came to Lauren because with all this love that Tariq proclaimed to have for Lauren, and I'm not doubting that Tariq did have some sort of love for her, the way that it ended between the two of them, unfortunately, with Lauren's transition, things did end up, excuse me, being a bad case of wrong place, wrong time for Lauren because the situation with Tariq is that Tariq told Effie, and that was a terrible mistake. I don't know why Tariq told Effie. I don't know if that was his subconscious way of trying to let Effie know that it's okay to off Lauren, or if Tariq was really that careless enough to tell Effie directly to her face about Effie's competition, which was inevitably Lauren anyway. And of course, this is why it is that I say that it's very careless of Tariq, is because Effie has double the reason to have essentially gotten rid of Lauren. Number one, because of the whole snitching thing that Lauren was doing, where she caught Kane, right, on the wire. And also, too, because of the fact that Lauren was Effie's lone competition, right? Diana was more of a showpiece, really, because of Diana's mischievous ways. So the mere fact that Tariq told Effie about Lauren, what did Tariq expect to happen exactly? Telling the person that's in love with you already, that's sitting there right next to you, about somebody else that you're in love with, that's in the game of power, excuse me, that isn't in the game of power that you're in love with. This was always going to happen. Tariq was never supposed to tell Effie about Lauren. That was a terrible mistake. That was a terrible, careless, thoughtless mistake. Because whatever the intention was, whether it was to make Effie jealous, now that Lauren has been outed as some sort of snitch, and word is getting around that Lauren had to wear some sort of wired watch. What did you think was going to happen, Tariq? This is the thing that I'm asking. Like, what did Tariq actually think was going to happen? Did Tariq think that, you know, everything was going to be a bed of roses, a pocket full of posies, you know? And at the same time, Lauren herself, how could Lauren be growing up in New York City and not have any kind of street smarts? And yeah, Lauren got money and all that type of stuff. Lauren is rich and all that, her family is rich. But still though, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Growing up in a rough place, and rough places everywhere, you're supposed to know how to move. You got to know how to maneuver. You're supposed to learn how to have a hood mentality, a street smarts. And I'm not saying that you have to be full blown hood. I'm saying that you have to know your surroundings in order for you to understand how to maneuver, how things go within the particular neighborhoods. And you growing up in New York, it just shows Lauren's carelessness due to the fact that Lauren is really out here, even with a rich family, and she doesn't know how to maneuver, even though she lives in New York. And let's not forget that New York in the 80s, from the early to late 80s, was one of the most dangerous cities in the United States at one point. Now, of course, Lauren comes from a new era. Of course, Lawrence is a millennial, okay? But at the same time, or a zillennial, but at the same time, Lauren is supposed to know what time it is, especially from her experience of growing up in New York to reach the age of 18 to be going to college. So you mean to tell me that she learned nothing, that if you talk to the feds, if you talk to the cops, if you talk to certain people, then you know, if you're messing with big time criminals, this is what's going to happen to you if you say anything. But at the same time, it is messed up what happened to her to a certain extent, because even though I talk about the whole snitching thing, technically Lauren is still not in the game. So she can cooperate as much as she wanted to, because she's not like in the game of power the way that, you know what I mean? She's not in the game of power herself. She's not into the criminality. She's really an innocent person. She's really a quote unquote civilian or a bystander. She's not really somebody that's in the game really at all. The most illegal thing that I done seen Lauren do is probably smoke what she smoked on power. So, I mean, it really is sad what happened to her, though. So, this is just a video on how, if you don't know how to maneuver, if you don't know how to understand where it is that you're coming from, and you understand your surroundings, just like what Tariq said from the first season, a person does not move until they know the lay of the land, then that can end up really being your downfall.